met Mr. PQ when I was going to Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and he was the saxophone instructor. He was my brother's saxophone teacher, but he a couple times, I think he was a little beyond what the school really had. A couple times we would play duets together, you know. And I think from that point, my brother was also taking private lessons with him, and I would come over to the house. You know, I'd take my brother over, and then after the lessons, me and Mr. PQ would play something. And then eventually, he had a jazz camp, and he asked me would I like to come to the camp, and man, it was great. I had a great time.
What was it like for you?
It was incredible. It was incredible. Away from home, me and my friends, me and my brother and my friend Clarence C on bass, and drummer Jeff, and we just had a great time.
And the unusual thing was, it wasn't all a student band, it was a community band, so we had people 2 generations above you, and
that's right.
Your own age, and it was called the Kaleidoscope. That was the name of the band. My name is, as I said, is Martin PQ. I'm basically a conductor and was a teacher then trying to relate to getting jazz opportunities for students, because it wasn't really taught in the schools then. We're going back probably farther than we wanted to talk about, but there was no such thing as a jazz program in a junior high, for instance. And I started my young son, Chris, when he was about this tall. He was in 2nd grade on clarinet, and he had to stand up because when he sat in his little chair, the bell hit the floor. And so by the time he got to 7th grade, he was playing grade 6 music and was ready to be playing jazz with no opportunity. So I put the Kaleidoscope Jazz Band together in my basement at first. And we ended up with a very large representation of the community. We had a Marine Corps general. We had a PhD in education. We had lawyers. I had 2 lawyers in the sax section that used to argue together, and the rest of the sax, well, all of the sax section was my students, and so that also led to the freshness for the audience, because they say, hey, I've never heard a big band concert like that before, and we invited when the element that Wallace and the other students from Duke Ellington School brought into it was that the rest of the band, because I lived in suburban Virginia, those students were mostly from that area, so that we had an interracial experience. We had a tremendous exchange of ideas, particularly because of Wallace's precociousness. As a jazz player, you know what they say. They say you have to pay the dues before you can play the blues. But you hadn't even had a chance to pay any dues yet, and you were playing wonderful blues. So we had a professional staff working with all of the kids. And then we had recitals that we played for each other, and it was a fabulous show and tell, and everybody grew from it.